Welcome back to another edition of Main Street. This is your host, Ryan Mack, with our co-hosts, Mario Brano and Robin Barnes. We are here. We always go straight into an economic tip. This is the economic show talking about economic solutions for Main Street America. The economic tip for the day is, it comes from a story that released last week where Equifax, those are not familiar with Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are the three national credit bureaus across the country that report to the Fair Isaac Corporation. Well, Equifax essentially had a breach of their security. 145 million individuals were essentially had their personal data put in jeopardy. So the tip of the day is much similar to last week. What are you doing every single day to make sure that you are checking your report? Are you logging into your bank account? They have many different organizations that can help you if you don't have access to a computer. Operation Hope, You Snap Back, Southwest Solutions, many different organizations here in the Detroit area and across the country that can help you to essentially pull your credit, pull your data, and making sure that you're not a victim of identity theft. So that's my message to you, the individual. Now, I have a message for you, Equifax. Now, I get it. I understand being a corporation, but I think you're kind of pulling some shady stuff here. And I got to call folks out because I want to make sure that as individuals, we are accountable. We want to make sure corporations are accountable as well. Essentially what Equifax is doing is saying that we have 145 million individuals because of a security breach that caused us, my personal data, and all of us personal data to be put in jeopardy. What they're saying, if you join their service, Trusted ID, you essentially have to sign a waiver foregoing you from being able to go enter into a class action lawsuit. So what this means is that if, let's just say, someone pulls your data and they get access to your credit report, or they get access to your personal information, and they might start stealing $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Let's just say $5,000 is stolen from you and you're not fully reimbursed by your bank. Let's say they only reimburse half of it. That means you're out of $2,500. Who's actually liable for paying the rest of that? And I want to open up to my panel here to kind of discuss, because again, this hit me if I'm sitting at home, and many of these 145 million individuals, we're not paying customers into Equifax. I'm certainly not paying customers. They do have paid services. I'm not paying Equifax. If they steal my information and I'm not made whole because of their breach of security, am I all of a sudden going to be on the hook for that? And all of a sudden, Equifax is saying by going into their paid-for-service Trusted ID that I can't sue them and make sure that I can be made whole. I don't agree with that. How do you feel about that, Robin? What do you think about that?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's just another thing to protect me. That's what it is. To protect business. Absolutely not. Listen, if I'm gonna give you my information, you need to have the pertinent parameters set up to protect my information. If you can't do that, then I need to not give you my information. And I think that's an outrage. It's totally outrageous, and we really need to stand up about that. And because Equifax, there needs to be something done about that.
How you feel about that, Mario?
I think this is an excellent example of lobbying and the influence thereof. When it positions Main Street in an inequitable position against corporate America, against Wall Street, this is an example of why it's important to be engaged, important to be part of this movement of Main Street, so that we can make it a level playing field. When the game and the rules are positioned against the consumer, then we all lose.
And bottom line is, individuals who are consumers, if your identity is put in jeopardy, you want to go to organizations or websites like consumer.ftc.gov in order to make sure that you can actually apply and say that we haven't. We're going to have a good guest on later on today. Lakeisha Walker is talking about from You Snap Back, who can delve in, who helps individuals to pull credit and make sure that they're not victims of identity theft. But again, if I'm just sitting around just chilling, and again, I mean, you say give data, we don't even have the choice whether they're giving data.
No.
So they're getting this data whether we like it or not. So if you're in that business of pulling data and pulling information, you also have to be in the business of being accountable for the data that you have pulled. And so if my data is breached because of something that you did not protect, then you need to be helped. You need to get paid for it. So I don't like this whole this mandatory arbitration, and I think there are a few individuals. This is one time when we do, again, we don't like to talk political on this show, but this is one time when we do need to talk to our elected officials and say, hey, listen, listen, we need to start making sure you're looking out for our best economic interests, because this can something that can hit my bottom line in my pocket.
Absolutely, as a collective. As a collective.
So and again, moving on, I mean, this past weekend, talking about economic impacts, we had, this past weekend, we had a boycott. And the NFL boycott across the country we had. So there are a lot of economic implications of boycotting, and so we can kind of delve into this a little bit, because again, as many individuals go to the games, some individuals don't go to the games, some individuals do go to the games, but there's a boycott. Individuals out there saying that because of Kaepernick and because of the discriminatory practices they feel that Kaepernick is under, they chose not to go to the game. So the question that I have is that as we look at the history of boycotting, we have, let's look at the Montgomery boycotts from 1955 to 1956, lasted 381 days. Dr. King said the buses at one point in time were losing $3,000 per day, because back in Selma, as many as 30 to 40,000 individuals participated in this boycott. That essentially caused them to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to, we'll be okay with you not having to sit in the back of the bus. So in that instance, the boycott worked. But we've seen many instances, most of them, where boycotts don't work. So the question I have of you all is, I mean, is this boycott going to be impactful? Is this going to be something that you think should be done? Or is it something that could be done? What do you all feel about that?
I'm always, you should protest. I mean, we have that right. I mean, that's a right that every citizen have, and that's a right that we should exercise if you so choose to.
Right.
I mean, so I think you should protest if you have an issue with something. It should be done. However, how would you protest is what's going to make it effective. I'm into effective protesting.
Yeah.
So to protest and just say, okay, well, I'm done with it, I do it a couple of times, we've seen that happen over the years, and we have seen no change in what some of those protests were. I think what we get lost in is that as a people we decide to, okay, we want to protest, but then we don't have any plan B after we protest. What's the next steps? I know everything is strategic when it comes to politics and economics, and I know you and I say that all the time. And if you don't have a strategy, then your protest is futile. So for those of us who believe in strategic strategies and things of that nature, then when you say, hey, let's protest, my next question is going to be, so then what are we going to do after that?
Right. I always like pointing to the Occupy Wall Street, and I went to a lot of different sites in Atlanta, and again, there was no follow-through. I actually talked with the leadership of Occupy Wall Street to see exactly if we could devise some tangible next economic steps, so we can make sure we can actually empower those individuals who are sitting in the park every week complaining about not getting jobs, playing hacky sack. I was saying, well, you don't have a job because you're in the park every week playing hacky sack.
There you go.
So let's go ahead and figure out what we can do to make this tangible, that for the next step, that now we've got the awareness, because protests are important.
Awareness. They're to bring awareness to the situation, and that's it.
That's all they do.
After that, now we need to say how we're going to do that. But you brought up a very good point, though, when you were talking about lobbyists. Lobbyists run this country. They really do. It's all about the green. That's why I love Main Street, because Main Street bring it back to its perspective. And it's all about the money. NFL ain't going to move. If you don't get a substantial amount of people who are going to say, hey, we don't like what you're doing, we don't like, or whatever your protest may be about, then they're not going to listen, because let's just face it, we had a rally here in Detroit, to my understanding, at the game. Yeah, I heard you were out there.
I was out there.
I was inside. I was inside. But anywho, it's football. I love football. Okay, but however, it's not that I don't agree with his protest, because he's kneeling. Cap kneeled. Do I think he should just be blackballed for that? Absolutely not. But I think what happened was once you take a stand like that, when you say I'm going to kneel and I'm going to do it every time in my job place, then you need to have a backup strategy on how you're going to move forward from this. I think even in his protest of kneeling, there was not a plan B. And that's because nobody like ourselves or other people have explained to him that you have to have there's another component. You have to be strategic. When you decide to do these protests, do your protests. I'm all for it. But be strategic. Make sure.
And Robin, I think that we define strategy as the organization of one's resources for an intended purpose.
Right.
But to make it replicable. So it begs the question, what are we trying to replicate?
Right.
Because with all due respect, I liken the NFL industry and the NFL arena as that is a plantation. with all due respect. So I feel as if when Andrew Young and Martin Luther King were arguing internally about the economic inequalities of the people, and the people were arguing about wanting to eat at a diner or sit at the front of the bus. But the inside circle was so focused on the structural, the systemic dysfunction or functionality of the system. Well, that also begs the question, what is the purpose of the system? To keep the status quo. So my question is, what is the intended objective? What are we trying to replicate? What are we trying to achieve and then replicate?
And what was you guys' intended objective when you were out there?
My objective was, and again, I want to say shout out to the Detroit Police Department. I think the Detroit Police Department
I saw them on your Facebook page.
They were courteous, they were respectful, they helped us find a great location. For those individuals out there that feels that Black Lives Matter and police officers don't get along, we got along great. Again, I think it was just a great day for everyone. It really was a protest in solidarity. But again, my thing that I was talking to, and I've also talked to the leadership of Stanford Kaepernick and said, listen, what can we do to implement some economic principles? Because boycotting essentially says, how can we ensure that when we can control our own dollars, which means we have to educate our individuals about how do we create our own businesses to control our own dollars, and then make sure that we can take the dollars away to make sure they can respect them. 2015, University of Missouri, when they had some racial incidents and they were against, and they said the president did not speak out against the racial comments. The football team banded together, and everybody was talking for a long time, but when the football team banded together and says, we're going to come together, we're not going to play unless this president resigns, and they said they're going to lose $1 million a game, that's when things change. So at the end of the day, the economic impact and the economic discussion, that's what we have to get back to. That's what I'll be working with the leadership of the Stanford Kaepernick and say, what can we do to educate our people about being self-sustained, start our own businesses,
and what can we do to get our own people to be the owners?
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Employers.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Dick Gregory said, I protested, sat at the counter for 11 years. They waited for the counter to get integrated. When they finally get integrated, they didn't have what I wanted. So we got to make sure that we get what we wanted. So coming up next, we have a very powerful sister, Dr. Zelania Allen, an entrepreneur and director of the Southeastern Michigan Entrepreneur Association. And she's doing some phenomenal things with entrepreneurs across this country and here in the Southeast Michigan. And she's coming up next on Main Street. Talk to you soon. Welcome back to Main Street. This is your host, Ryan Mack, co-host Mario Bueno and Robin Barnes here, bringing you the economic information for everyday solutions for Main Street America. If you would like to be a part of Main Street, give us a call, 313-342-5906. If you have a business, you have a nonprofit that you would like to promote and come on here and just say, hey, Ryan, we're doing some tangible things and tangible economic solutions for the country, then come on and give us a call, 313-342-5906. Go to the GoFundMe page, GoFundMe/Main Street Campaign, and help donate. This is a movement, an economic movement that starting in Detroit will be across this country. We are so excited, and we're so excited to have our next guest here, Dr. Zelania Allen, PhD. Now, you, as far as I'm concerned, are one of the premier ambassadors of change, doing some of the most phenomenal work for entrepreneurs across this country in Southeast Michigan to make sure that individuals are getting all the resources they need to be successful. Talk a little bit about the Southeastern Michigan Entrepreneurs Association, exactly what it's all about.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. So Southeast Michigan Entrepreneurs is a networking and support group for entrepreneurs and small business owners. We meet on a monthly basis, and we bring in experts every month to talk to us about how to grow a business. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a high fail rate for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I was reading an article.
I failed many times. Thank God for my failures, and I will never be a success.
Absolutely. You learn from your failures.
Absolutely.
So I was reading an article in Forbes magazine that said 8 out of 10 small businesses will fail. So there's definitely a need for what we do. So we bring in experts every month to talk to us about how to grow a business.
What got you into this? What's your background, and what made you so passionate about making sure, because this is what Main Street is about. The work that you're doing is exactly what we're dedicating to helping people get exposure to. Without you, without your work, as a country, we will not be successful. There's a small business and the support that you're providing that's going to help this country be successful. What got you into this realm and this industry, and what made that light bulb go off to say, you know what, I need to help some businesses be successful?
Well, from my own personal experience. So several years ago, I was starting a business. I had no idea what to do or how to start it. And I was going to different organizations, learning that there are a lot of resources out there to help entrepreneurs. So I just thought, wouldn't it be great to put together an organization dedicated to entrepreneurs, sort of like a one-stop shop where you could come and get help for your business. So if we don't have someone within the organization that can help you with what you need, we can at least provide a referral.
Robin, what sort of benefit do you think, like an organization, like if you would have known about SEMA back in the day, then when you started your businesses, but what benefit could SEMA have been to your business getting started? I mean, because it seems like they're doing some phenomenal stuff that I wish everybody was familiar with.
That's the number one, and I'm sure you will agree that the number one great reason why businesses fail is because we don't have the adequate information that we need to get started. I was blessed to go to school and learn, and then go to college to get it. So I kind of knew how to start off, so that was good for me. But had I had you, I wouldn't have wrote up my business plan. I would have paid you to do all that because I just don't want it. I don't like paperwork. But it's phenomenal because you need a business plan. You need to know where steps are you going to be in the next. You need to be able to forecast. You need to be able to see where you're going to be going the next 4 or 5 years. You need to see what the economic system is going to say you're going to be able to sustain the next 4 or 5 years. So everything that you bring to the table is something that a new up-and-coming business person will need to have. So I think it would have been awesome if I didn't have the resources and I needed them. And you can't.
Absolutely, and not only do you need all those technical skills as far as how to write a business plan, but you need the support and the motivation and the inspiration. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that we provide. There's always someone that you can call or talk to if you have a question or you're facing a challenge, and we can help you work through that challenge.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So some of the folks that you work with, I'm sure, could use some of these services as well. Isn't that right, Mario?
Yeah. In relation to return citizens, we try to guide them towards entrepreneurship, especially because of the felony background. However, we also teach, as I was doing some research in relation to some of your guys' students that went through your program, they praised it in relation to transforming how they thought. So, right, be ye renewed by transforming your mind. Yes. But the point was, he said it wasn't just for the business that benefited; it was for their personal lives. And I can't help but think that you guys are transforming people. You're helping guide them to become better, and then as a direct result, residual effect, their businesses become better.
I'm glad you brought that up. One of the key things that we do is the mastermind. So we have mastermind groups that meet the first Saturday of every month, and this is where we meet in smaller groups and we brainstorm. So if you're having a challenge in your business, you can go up to the front, talk to the group about that challenge, and then we'll brainstorm on possible solutions. But in addition to that, we have a segment called mind conditioning. So I'm a psychologist, so I like to talk about the psychology of business. So most people are conditioned to be employees.
Wow.
And they're not trained or conditioned to be an employer or to own a business, and it's a totally different mindset. So this is what we teach in the mastermind group.
In harmony with that mastermind group, may I ask, is it stemming from Napoleon Hill's mastermind, Laws of Success?
Absolutely.
Okay, so coincidentally, serendipitously, right, so to speak, I'm reading Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, it's been hidden since 1938. And in it, it says that the public school system, this is 1938, is teaching our children what to think instead of how to think. So what we teach our returned citizens, and we're doing a training for free for felons in Pontiac. We're bringing it to Detroit, and what we're going to do is connect these graduate students of our entrepreneurship program to you guys. What we teach them is this. Inherently, you are created as a solution to a problem. You are suffering because you're not in alignment with that purpose, right?
Wow.
Right? The suffering draws you closer to your purpose, which is a solution, which technically speaking is a business.
And that's all business is basically providing solutions. to
Solving problems.
And so now you have a fabulous conference coming up on September 22nd to 8:30 to 4:30. Can you talk about this conference? And, and I'll be speaking at this conference, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. Thank you all for even thinking about me. I'm very humbled to be connected with you all. What is this conference, and what do you want to have come out of this conference? And how do people sign up and make sure they can get involved?
Okay, so the conference is Friday, September 22nd. It's an all-day conference. It's the Entrepreneur and Small Business Conference. And this theme this year is Pathways to Success, which means there are a lot of paths to get to your goal. And if you attend this event, you will find a path to your entrepreneurial dreams. So we have 2 keynote speakers. Ryan, as he mentioned, will be our morning keynote. And then we have 21 breakout sessions. So it's broken up into 7 tracks. So basically, you can come to this conference and get whatever information you need to start or to grow your business. If you need funding, there'll be someone there talking about funding options. If you need to know how to use social media more effectively, there'll be 3 social media experts there. What sales, marketing, we'll have 2 experts talking about opportunities in technology, because tech entrepreneurship is really big right now. And breakfast and lunch will be provided, and it'll just be a great day to network with fellow entrepreneurs and learn.
So I'm looking at what you're saying here, and I'm looking at this flyer here, and it says registration for $49. Now I've spent $49 just to get breakfast, right? Not only are you providing breakfast, but you're providing breakfast and lunch, and you're providing a whole host of, what would you place the dollar value to be on all the expertise that's going to be out at this conference that you're getting? You're talking about funding opportunities. You're talking about opportunities for individuals to get different website consultation. What would be the dollar value of the different content that you would just guesstimate would be on this conference?
Honestly, I can't place a dollar amount on it. I've paid as much as $3,000 to fly out of town to attend a conference to get training. So just to be able to go someplace locally for $49 and get training, and the people that you're going to meet. Business, a lot of it is about who you know. And I've heard so many stories about people who have attended our meetings, and just in passing, they met someone, it led to a business transaction that amounted to thousands of dollars. So
I want people to know, because I want to give folks a few seconds right here, because somebody out there wants this information, but they haven't gone and got their pen yet. So I want y'all to hold on for a quick second. I want you to take a second, take a breather, go grab your pen, because you all need to figure out that you're going to write this information down. She's going to give her telephone number. She's going to give her website, because you all need to be there. There's no question in my mind that this is the place that y'all have to be on Friday, September 22nd, with SEMA in partnership with University of Phoenix. This is the place y'all need to be. So, Dr. Allen, can you give the number and the website? Because these folks are going to write it down, and they're going to come and going to pay their $49 to see all these phenomenal content that you're providing.
So the website is www.semea.org.
Okay.
And the telephone number is 248-491-3146.
And just real quick before she says it again, for those who didn't grab a pen or a
There you
pencil,
go. Tell me.
just simply for the mastermind session, I would simply say to connect with this organization, simply for that alone, is worth much more than $49.
Yeah,
So
way
please,
more than that.
Dr.
You can
Allen,
buy
please.
the book probably costs more than that.
It should.
Maybe not, but
It should. It
You
should.
know, I'm gonna add to that
There you
also,
go.
because there's, we always talk about. I hear it all the time. Well, I couldn't make it. I couldn't. It costs too much. Listen, what Mrs. Allen is giving us here is invaluable. Just like she said, she pays $3,000. I have paid $5,000 to do a real estate conference.
There you go.
So, and it's only 10 people there maybe. Okay, and none of them is talking about nothing I probably don't already know. Okay, so this is something that's going to better you. The bottom line is, this is something that we learned, and I'm sure Mrs. Allen will agree, that you're not going to get where you need to be working for somebody all the time. You need to branch out. We need to expand our mindset. You need to get into a business. Whatever your niche is, you need to find that niche, come to this conference, and let them show you how to make this be a business. No, you're probably not going to be a millionaire in the next 2 or 3 years, but it may be the next 10 years to blow up. You never know. With social media the way it is, and and television, there's not a reason why you should not find $49.
$49.
Y'all spending $200 on tennis shoes.
Or at the club at the weekend.
You're spending $100 at the weekend at the club. All right.
That's 3 drinks.
Okay. No,
Yes,
that's
yes,
3
exactly.
drinks.
Exactly.
And it's 3 week drinks most
Just be
times.
sober for a Friday and go to the
and
go out to
come
the
here
SEMA.
and make the money. Learn how to make your money, so you can always constantly walk in doing whatever you're doing. It's not no upsets.
So,
We need to
Dr.
go.
Allen, please, one more time.
One more
for
time.
The
Give us that number.
and the website.
The
Shout it
telephone
out.
number is 248
248
491
491
3146.
Please. And what's the
3146.
website?
The website is www.semea.org.
And we're going to be promoting this throughout the week. We're going to make sure that folks, and we'll do all we can to make sure the message is clear. That the biggest places where the most ideas are found is in the graveyard. Don't die with these ideas. Make sure you can take these ideas and make them come to fruition. And this is the place, the Southeastern Michigan Entrepreneurs Association, University of Phoenix, September 22nd, 8:30 to 4:30. Give them a call, and we'll be back. The question we want to ask you for the next segment: is favor a business strategy? I want you to think about that. Is favor a business strategy? Next segment on Main Street. See you soon. Welcome back to Main Street. This is your host, Ryan Mack, co-host Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno. And the question I asked you before the break is favor a business strategy? Well, our guest will say that it is a business strategy. Thank you, Brother Boykin, for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And I just want you to say that I am a blessing. I'm a blessing is the shirt that he has on here. Talk a little bit about exactly, because you're basically fixing up homes to give them away to individuals who need houses. You've been in the trade industry, construction, for over 20 years now. You're using that skill in your hands. The 2 most valuable gifts from God is your left and your right hand. You are using your hands to create homes, and you're giving them away. How are you doing it? How are you giving away all these homes? This is an unbelievable story.
Well, I started a food ministry about 7 years ago, and we were feeding the homeless, and we probably feed about 350, 400 people now. So started out the trunk of my car. We haven't missed a Wednesday in 7 years.
And where exactly is a food
This is
ministry, just so people can...
Woodward and Peterborough.
Okay.
The organization's name is We Are One Community Unity, and the movement is I'm a Blessing. So it went from, how God works, it went from feeding the homeless to, around Christmas time we give vehicles away to different families in need, and we started fixing up homes and giving them away to families in need of a home. So a lot of people might have saw when we surprised a lady at the bus stop with the vehicle. And I didn't really realize what was going on with her.
You went over that way too fast.
I went over that too
You went over that way too fast. So you surprised a lady at the bus stop with
We
a
did.
car.
We did.
So
we did.
what?
Well,
what-
around Christmas time, we give a vehicle away to a family. And we gave the car away, and a buddy of mine called me and said, I just bought my mom a new car. And she has a car in the garage that's in great shape, and I want to give it to you because I know what you're going to do with it. He said he didn't want to give it to anyone else. So when we got the car, I said, okay, we got a car, I got to fix it up and give it away to somebody. So I called a buddy of mine that's a DOT driver. And I said, man, do you know a lady that or somebody that rides the bus every day, same time, and works hard? So he said, yeah, I do. So I drove down, parked my truck, went to the bus stop, and I started talking to a lady, and I went live on Facebook. So we were having a conversation. I didn't show her face, but we were just talking. And when I met her and I heard, what was going on with her, I said, man, this is her. This is perfect.
Wow.
So I went back. We washed the car up, changed the oil, because it wasn't nothing wrong with it really. And She got on the bus that Wednesday after we finished feeding the homeless. Everybody who came down to help was on the bus with her.
Wow.
So when she got off the bus, we were there and we surprised her with the keys to the bus.
And so talk about, because I saw a video where you were fixing up a home, and you're using your skills and your trade to fix up houses, and then one of these individuals was actually, well, you tell the story better than I can.
Well, after I took the lady to get her plates and her insurance for the vehicle, I heard her story. And she was, her mom had cancer. She was trying to pay the bills, and she couldn't because they didn't have health insurance. So she ended up losing her house. She ended up losing her car, losing everything. And when we surprised her with the car, you know, she said she had just prayed to God and said, Lord, I need a sign. You know, so when she told me this, I'm bragging in the truck like, man, are you kidding me? So I said, man, I wish we had more to do more for, but we didn't. And then a month later, we get this house. So I said, oh, yeah, we're going to fix it up for her.
No.
I'm going too fast again, right?
No. How do you get a house? Who gets a house?
You know what? I mean, when you're living a righteous life for the Lord, and people are seeing what you're doing and they're believing in what you're doing, hey, God sends people to bless you.
Do y'all believe this story?
Oh, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And he's absolutely right from a spiritual perspective.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely right. When you do like you're supposed to do, when you keep your word, you live a life of righteousness. God is going to keep, he's always going to hold up his promise. And so his promise is you be a blessing, I'm going to be a blessing to you. And he'll keep having it overflowing and overflowing and overflowing. That's why he went from the car to the house. Now you're going into bigger, better things.
Now, the funny thing about that car, the lady who got the car, she got the house too.
Oh, I mean, see, that's a praying woman.
So-
that woman was praying.
Tell the story about how you had her helping build the house, not knowing she was going to get the house.
All right.
Well, you know, I'm going to even go into the house because I didn't have the money to fix the house up.
Okay.
So people just saw.
So how'd you get the money?
Man, I just went over there and started tearing out walls I didn't know how I was going to get the money for. I started tearing out cabinets,
Walking
and
in.
I didn't know how we were going to get the money for them.
And so how did all this come together?
You know, I would-
What
I
was
would-
the root of all of this?
I would go over there late at night, 2, 3 in the morning, and just start putting one step in front of the other. And I
I'm
would
trying to
post
get you to say
videos. Yeah, it's the favor, man. You know, you can smell the favor. But, you know, people started seeing what I was doing, like, man, he's determined to do this. So they started coming out and helping, you know. And I ran into you at the bistro one night. He said, man, well, I want to help out too. He got a I'm a Blessing shirt, and we were talking. But just people started coming together, and they're fixing up a home for a woman they didn't even know. Because I wasn't telling people who it was for because I didn't want it to get out. But after some people found out, they were just like, wow.
Well, you're definitely gonna have to let us know how to get one of those shirts before you get
Right,
off. But
I want
what I would like to comment is, you know, when you look at the actual denotive of certain words, the definition, the meanings, you look at righteousness as right standing, and when you say that you're righteous, you're in right standing with purpose. And when you realize that when you're in alignment with purpose, you don't have to worry about the how.
No.
Right? You just know what you got to do.
Oh yeah,
The how
I
will
stopped
come.
worrying. I
Right?
stopped worrying. I tell people I have like a crazy faith because God is like
Kind of
oh,
like
man,
of Abraham, huh? That would
yeah,
walk his own
he's
son
like
up a
Jerry.
mountain, right?
He's like Jerry,
Right?
something wrong with him, so I got to really put my hands on him and take care of him because I do things that are sometimes foolish, but God knows that my faith is just.
Kind of like building an ark when there's no rain.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So what I would like to say is this, though. When I read your story, I was taken aback because I think that it goes unnoticed how important a home is.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at how, you know, we believe a story that God spent the first 5 days creating the environment and one day creating man.
Yeah.
That's how important, that's the effect you're having on this family.
And so now, so how again? Because this story just blows my mind. It blows my mind, and I think, and if there's anything I can do to help it out, I'm hoping that these individuals out there that are watching can look at what this man is doing, and can say, I want to help spread this favor on what you're doing, because you've done exactly what Main Street is about. You've taken your skills and your trade, and you've used them for the betterment of the economic value of the community, and you've given them away. Freely you have received, freely ye shall give. You are giving everything away. How do people buy the shirt?
Yeah, do they help the movement by buying the shirt?
we
They
buy
do.
shirts?
They
Oh,
do. That's
perfect. I'm
that's
definitely getting
that's
one.
how we move.
Absolutely.
I have a heart.
Hey, everyone get your
And you
pencil.
know what?
Pink, but I got
We need help too with the
Absolutely.
next house that we're going to be
Absolutely.
working on.
Absolutely.
Talk about the house.
So
Yeah.
the next house that we're working on was given to me by a lady that didn't even know me,
Okay.
and she just heard and saw the things that we were doing.
Let me interject here.
Okay.
Favor is not fair.
Yeah, it's
No,
not fair.
no.
It's not fair.
Everybody don't get the house given.
Yeah. So I went over to the house. I was telling you guys earlier. I went over to the house, and it was some squatters living in the house. So it was a lady or two kids and some other people. And, I told her, I said, I'm not going to put you out the house. So I let her stay in the house. I've been taking her food and helping out with the kids and helping to find her housing. But it's just amazing how she stumbled across that house. We were even able to, pray with her and kind of minister to her a little bit. But I was telling her, I said, make sure that you're praying to God so he's communicating with me so you can stay in his house.
Wow.
Because I said, I'm not just
You're
doing
giving her
this
a
to be
chance.
nice. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm a biblical man, but I also listen to Young Jeezy, and sometimes Young Jeezy says if you feed a sucker, he grow to be a bigger leech.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, we're getting ready to start on this property. So, and I'll go to a way to get the shirt is go to imablessing.org. It's imablessing.org.
How much
Check.
is it?
The shirts are $20.
You got something in the trunk? You got something in the trunk of your car?
I got some aprons too. I even have chef aprons and I
Really?
have baby onesies too.
Oh, I need a baby onesie and I need a shirt.
I got you.
Alright.
So yeah, we're not funded. We don't have
Cool.
funding coming in. This is
Well,
self-funded.
you're funded. You're funded by favor.
Absolutely.
Funded by
absolutely.
faith.
But I just
Amen.
want to be
That is the
clear.
business strategy.
Amen.
I just want to be
Banking
clear
and
when people say, "Oh man, how do you give cars and houses and feed the homeless every Wednesday?" God makes sure it gets done.
5 into 5,000, right?
Absolutely.
5 into
Absolutely.
5,000.
Absolutely. So even on Wednesdays, we're down on Woodward and Peterborough every Wednesday
Feeding
from
how many people?
11:30. Oh man, sometimes it gets just more food comes in. Sometimes we feed a whole lot
You
of
said
people.
from 11:30.
11:30, we're there from 11:30 to about 1:30, and then we go down to the bus transit center. So we're there until the food is gone.
Wow.
And we have music, we have clothes, we have toiletries, and all types of things.
Basic
So-
needs. Basic
I
needs.
want a number and that website one more time
Okay.
because again the people at home, if y'all were not moved by this story, then move out my neighborhood
Say
because
move
I
out
don't
the
want to live
neighborhood.
with you. Because this is the type of stuff that we need to support.
Yeah,
If we can't
absolutely.
support this, then what can
Absolutely.
we support?
Absolutely.
What-
Well, the
This is-
phone
this
number
is tithing
is
right here.
313-744-3038. And
One more time. One more time.
Give it to us one more time.
313-744-3038. And the website is imablessing.org. You can,
Now, when I hear stuff like this, I'm so moved.
Goosebumps.
So I got the goosebumps going. But I'm moved to do something.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, and I'm going to facilitate it because I need it to be a outstanding success. We're going to make sure we're going to throw something to provide monies
Thank you.
so that we can make sure that he gets some funding
Yeah.
from Main Street. We're
And
gonna
advertise the day,
advertise
a day
it.
that we could go out there and help
Okay.
That's what
with
I'm
the
talking
house.
about.
We're gonna
Because
do
not
the
everyone
whole
has money.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Right,
the whole
right.
gamut.
Right now.
So we're gonna come up with a plan, with a party or something.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do. We're gonna invite everyone out there.
Yes, please.
Bring your money. Bring it. Because we need to. if
And
you
your
can't-
hard hat.
And if
And
you
your hard
can't,
hat.
And
if
your
you
steel-toe
can't,
boots.
if you can't use a nail and hammer, then we need you to
Yes,
pull out your
absolutely.
pocket and write a check. Because this is something that everybody needs. We got winter time coming up. We're gonna have a lot
People
of
need
cold
houses and
days.
food.
They need houses and food. And unfortunately, in my business, they don't. You're not getting a lot of them. They don't give them away.
Right.
So.
Well-
if we got somebody who we can stand behind, my realtor friends, we need to get together and help this brother here.
I'm a blessing.org.
and be
I'm a-
a blessing.org.
If you were not moved by this story, then move out my neighborhood because I don't want to live by you. So we are coming back with one of the most phenomenal organizations. Again, you snap back providing free 99s, education and economic solutions for your community. Lakeisha Walker will be here next time. See you soon. Welcome back to Main Street again. I hope you're moving, having a very moving show. Thank you for all the guests. And we have another guest on here. It's all about You Snap Back. Minister Lakeisha Walker. I wanted to say that because I just appreciate the fact that you're walking in the Word, and sometimes I don't want to hide it.
Amen.
So you snap back. So talk a little bit about your background. Every single day you are on the streets, in the community, teaching about credit, teaching about budgeting, teaching helping individuals buy homes, providing these are Main Street type of services. You are an ambassador of change. I want to thank you for your service. Tell us a little bit about your background and where you came from and how you got into this field of such needed service for the community.
Thank you for having me, Ryan. Honestly, I kind of just fell into this whole arena coming out of the military. I was in the U.S. Navy, and
oh, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. And then I was actually in the real estate realm, financial world, underwriter, processor. And then when the market changed, I crossed over to help previous clients. You Snapback has been in existence for 30 years, and we pride ourselves on education. We have a stake in the community to sustain, develop, and educate. And that is what we provide. And all of our services are at no cost to our participants. You will not pay 1 penny when you come in our doors, but you will walk out with a wealth of knowledge and the opportunity to make your life better.
So I know, again, I was formerly with Operation Hope, and now we still work with Operation Hope, and I know that you have to raise money in order to get all these services up, and you have to pay your salary, you have to pay the office, all these expenses. But talk a little bit about exactly when we raise funds and when individuals, I want to give you an opportunity to ask for some funding, because all this stuff is not free. It's free to the people who use it.
Absolutely.
But it does cost, so I want to make sure that people can donate to You Snapback as well. What exactly do you do? I'm walking into your office. What do I get when I sit down with Minister Walker? What happens?
When you come to our office, you're going to first of all identify what do you need.
Okay.
Because we provide education for home ownership. So if you are a person that has never owned a home or has not owned a home in the past 3 years, then we can prepare you through a home ownership class, help you with down payment assistance, help you get funding to purchase a home, help you find homes.
Wow.
We partner with various realtors. Or if you are a person that says, I don't know where my credit is, but I know that I need to build my credit or establish credit, then you can attend our free credit one-on-one class, 2 hours of credit, where we will pull a tri-merge free of charge to you and give you your scores and give you an opportunity to look at what is affecting your credit, how do you change it, and do an action plan to actually help you move forward in building that score.
You about to make me walk up out of here.
Then
this don't make any sense.
On top of that, you can come in and say, I own my home, but I am in a crisis and my home may possibly go into foreclosure. Over the last 10 years, we have helped over 400 homeowners keep their homes by either getting their mortgages paid and they don't have to pay the money back, or getting their taxes brought current where they don't have to pay the money back, or even their condo association fees paid and they don't have to pay the money back. I have negotiated with lenders short settlements where you keep the home for the current value as opposed to your $100,000 mortgage or modifications, again, of no cost to the customer.
Now, Robin, I got to throw this to you because, I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated because all these folks out here talking about gentrification. Everyone's talking about how we can't afford homes, we don't know how to buy homes, and we don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, we're talking about lack of ownership and how come we can't worry about the neighborhoods and all. And here we have a service that is providing all of this stuff for free of charge. So, Robert, how does that make you feel when you know that there are many individuals who could use these services that don't use these services, and therefore when they come to you, they got jacked up credit and they got no budget and they're not ready. They just got this home ownership dream. It becomes a nightmare because they haven't prepared in the right way. Talk from a realtor's perspective. All the stuff she's saying that she provides free of charge and all the problems that we have, it's a disconnect going on here. Talk to me about that.
I think it goes back to what, to what was said earlier. What Mario was saying, it's a mindset. You have to change your mind.
We got to.
I
We
can't,
have to.
and I think we started off the first show last week, and we were saying you have to change the way you think. You got to surround yourself with people who think in the way in which you're going, or in which you're at. What we have in the city of Detroit, and this is just coming from a broker, realtor perspective, we have a lot of great systems that are out there, like You Snap Back, that gives people money, helps them out, we tell them, listen, you got to have your credit right, you got to have your debt to income. You can't go buy a car and then you can't get a pre-approval, go buy a car and think you're going to close the deal on the house.
When you tell it to them, she provides the services.
But the disconnect is if I don't get it, it has to be, it's free. And when somebody's giving you something for free,
Can I add something? What I'm looking at is a clash of values, right? And so when we talk about, for example, the NFL boycott, or if we talk about, for example, this phenomenal program here, You Snap Back, what we're talking about is not resources, but resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not about it's about resourcefulness. The fundamental flaw with our people.
Yes.
And when I'm speaking from those who are disenfranchised, the fundamental flaw is they don't understand what's their most valuable resource, which number one is time.
Yeah.
How are you using your time?
Yeah.
Do you know all of the NFL athletes' financial statements and don't even understand your own credit score? Well, then there's a tragedy here, because you need to be focused on creating your own Super Bowl. You need to be focused on the resources that exist within the own acre of diamonds underneath your feet. For example, You Snap Back. So, for example, I'm going to connect you with a close friend of mine who had no clue that you existed.
Yeah.
And so that's why Main Street is so important, because knowledge isn't power. The application of knowledge is
Knowledge
power.
with action is power. That's what I'm saying.
action is power. Action is.
So, and you have some stuff coming up, some workshops and some programming coming up. And I want you to talk, before you even give the information about that, do you have lines wrapped up around the corner to attend these programs and workshops?
We do not. We do not have lines wrapped around.
But they line up for the check cashing place when they need to cash their check, though, right?
And that's what I wanted to bring up, as Mario stated. The last service that we've recently really embraced is financial capabilities. The key components of financial capability is making ends meet, planning ahead, managing financial products, and financial knowledge and decision making. And that is where we lose our people, because the decision making as it pertains, even though they have the knowledge, even though they have the resources, it's a matter of the decision making where that mindset just has not caught up with what has been downloaded into your mind, or what has been presented to you. And so our goal, FINRA, who is the Financial Industry Regulatory System, they did a study on 27,000 adults between ages 18 and 34, and statistics show that more than 30% of those individuals, when they had an emergency, could not raise $2,000 within 30 to 45 days of that emergency. What does that mean? That means we are living paycheck to paycheck with no savings. You know
Check
why?
Tuesday.
Because decision making as it relates to the money that we are obtaining is not proper.
It goes back to the mindset. We don't have a mindset of, we have a mindset of getting things, but not keeping things.
Yes.
We have a mindset of, like he said, obtaining knowledge, but not utilizing that knowledge that you have. We have a mindset of we only go part of the way. And so we need to get people to go forward to understand that, it's all right for you to go buy the Porsche, but you got to also strategize, and that word is coming back out, how you going to keep it?
Let me let her give the information of the sessions, because I want people to really understand.
Before she gets the pin, I want to just say what they've done tangibly. You're talking about You Snap Back has since '87 its inception. Its home repairs over 500. Right. You're talking about 17 vacant structures rehab. You're talking about 131 units of affordable rental and single-family homes for low-income and moderate-income families. So there's real things happening. They're not just asking you to come down there and talk to them.
They're actually doing things.
So talk about, give your number out as well.
Our
please.
number is 313-640-1100.
One more time.
313-640-1100. We host our classes monthly. Every month there's a schedule. Our schedule through December is already made.
Wow.
Okay, so upcoming this Saturday, which is the 16th, Home Buyer Ed, 9:30 to 3:30. Next Tuesday, Credit 101. And then the following week, which is Wednesday, Thursday, and the following Monday, Financial Capability. Call our office. You can get our schedule. You can visit our website, www.usnapback.org. We are here to serve you.
And with that, we're gonna have to wrap up again. One more time on the number, because I really want people to get this, please.
313-640-1100.
I'm gonna have to give a really quick Stay Woke segment here. Our Stay Woke segment of the day is the Emergency Financial First Aid Kit. The Emergency Financial First Aid Kit. Again, we're praying for all those down in Florida, praying for those down in Texas and down in Louisiana that's victims of the hurricane. But this Emergency Financial First Aid Kit, if you go to www.ready.gov/financial preparedness, you can get this for free. It helps you organize all of your pertinent data and information. Again, it's not just hurricanes. If you have a fire, if you have a flood, if you have certain things that make you not able, it helps you organize. Now, this is a financial tool and a free kit as well. If you fill this information out, you fill this data out in this free workbook, again free, you get it from FEMA, you'll be able to organize your finances, make sure you know where your accounts are located, make sure you know where all your important data, you have a checklist of all your important information is, whether it's online or stored in a safe account. All this is organized in this free book. This is the Stay Woke segment of the day. Again, this is Main Street, Ryan Mack with our co-hosts, Mario Bueno and Robin Barnes. Again, thank you for you, Snapback. Thank you for Brother Jerry Boykin. Thank you for Dr. Allen, SEMA. Thank you for all of those out there that are doing tangible economic solutions for our community. If you would like to donate to this cause, GoFundMe/Main Street Campaign. And come on out. We want to hear from you. If you have a nonprofit, a business that's providing tangible economic solutions, come on out. We want to hear from you. You are the change we want to see in this world. Our love must not be a thing of words and fine talk. It must be a thing of action and sincerity. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Main Street. Till next time. Peace.
Thank you.